super low expectations, and then my launch party ended, and I was on fire. I was in love with the company. I was in love with how easily I could run my business at home with my daughter. So I got out the compensation plan, and I set some goals for myself. I was like, I'm going to hit team manager. I'm going to hit team manager in April. Well, I hit team manager in March, and I went out and I bought myself a pair of designer flip-flops. And every time I wear those, I still feel that like excitement and that proudness feeling of I've accomplished something huge. And so fast forward a few months later, I went to an international conference, and my team hit 100 ladies, and I promoted to senior team manager. So to say that I was drunk on the jam juice, like I was on fire. Like my team was a freight train. We were going so fast. We had our best month in October. Our team sales were like ridiculous, like almost $20,000, like ridiculous. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is like the coolest thing ever. And then of course, November hit and my team hit a wall. A lot of people were gassed out. People were taking a break. They were going on holiday. I didn't have that excitement there. And then, of course, in December, we had the worst month ever. It was the first month that I did not re-rank my title. I didn't meet my PRV goals. I didn't meet my TRV goals. I was heartbroken. I was really sad. You know, this business that I'm working for, all of a sudden, it's starting to fall apart on me. Well, life happens, right? I had a baby. So in December, I welcomed innocent Kate in the world, and it's hard to keep your business going when you have a newborn. But I was prepared for this, right? I mean, I knew I was pregnant. I knew I was going to have a baby. I knew that it was going to be hard. So I set some goals for myself that month, and I was going to meet my PRV by the 10th of the month. Like, I knew I was going to do it. Okay, well, the 10th of the month came. That didn't happen. So I was 9 months pregnant, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to give myself some grace. I'm going to back off, you know, whatever. That last week of December, I'm going to really gun for it, and I'm going to count my VIP people, and I'll put in a bulk order, and I'll be able to re-rank. Well, then a tornado ripped through my community, my neighborhood, my house, and so January got put on the back burner, like, way back. You know, I had to deal with life. I had life issues. I had to get a new roof. I had to get a new fence. I had to get a new floor. Like, it was hard. So fast forward a few weeks later, I'm missing my team. Not that I'd given up on my team, but I felt like I kind of put them on a back burner. You know, they totally understood. I had to take a step back because, and so I decided I was either going to let my business slip through my fingers or I was going to get it back. So I decided I was going to fix my ponytail and get to work. Oh, no, wait, hold on. I had to, refocus and recommit. Was my why worth it? Absolutely, my why was worth it. My business that I worked so hard for to, get there, and then I had all these visions for college funds for my daughters and financial freedom. Like, it is worth it. My business is worth it. So I recommitted my business. Then I set some goals for myself, and I didn't set little goals for myself. My goal wasn't to get active. My goal was to re-rank. We're 2 weeks into January, and I was going to do it. So I made some measurable goals. I, wrote everything out, and then I had to come up with a game plan, right? And so I kept coming back to these brand values. Like, how awesome is our company that these are our brand values? Like, it's so amazing that these are our values, and they line up with me as a person, or try to anyways, right? So I kind of took one at a time and kind of figured out my game plan. So this is kind of like my game plan. So my family, who is in my family? My battle buddy, Sarah Kinvake. You've probably seen her name on all the workstation and the top consultant. She is amazing. And she's my battle buddy because she drives me. Like, if you don't have a battle buddy in your business, you need to find one. It's your sponsor, maybe your team manager, somebody who's driven like you that wants, financial freedom. So I talked to her, try to figure out a game plan, and my team is what is like my go-to. They are my support system. They are amazing. They are the most understanding people ever. And I'm kind of their support system as the team leader of the page, and so I had to get my butt back in gear so that they had a support system also. And then the next part of my family is my customers. They are my bread and butter. invite their VIPs also. So we had this like big, huge VIP party, and that is what jump-started the momentum of my business again. I had to do something extreme to get that momentum going again. So the next one is generous. And if you're gonna get your business back, you've got to be generous with your time. Because if you are at a standstill, you're gonna have to build those relationships again, and you're gonna have to reach out to your, your customers, your past hostesses, people that are gonna be able to support you. I always tell my team, I'm like, cast wide nets. You have to ask 1 million people to get a few yeses, right? So you have to be really generous with your time whenever you are going to build that foundation back and that momentum back in your business. And then I decided I was going to switch things up with my VIPs. I was going to, no longer, I'll still personal message them and say thank you for their order, but I would still, or I would handwrite notes, and I decided I was going to do some personalized gifts for my VIP customers. And I didn't spend a lot of money. I went to the Dollar Tree, and I got those 4x6 photo albums, and I went home and I custom made the album covers for them, and I sent them out to my VIP customers, and they were so excited. They felt so loved that I had, spent that generous time, making those things for them. And every single one of the girls, except for one that I sent those out to, they reordered from me in the last few months. So they have definitely helped me out on my PR goals to get me where that I promoted to. And another way I'm being generous in my company or my business is I'm letting my VIPs nominate a mom that I'm going to give a gift box to. And I actually just posted that this morning, and I've got a flood of messages. Oh my gosh, this is so awesome. And people want to be a part of that when you're being generous with, financially or just even with your time. Okay, so be unique. And hopefully this video will work. Before it pops up. Oh, okay, yeah. So this has nothing to do with direct sales. This is not, this is a photographer. I think her words have weight.
It's valuable to take a step back and really just be okay in your own skin. It's okay to say, this is what I want, this is who I am, and this is what I do. That is entirely okay. Because when you say those things, it allows the recipient, the viewer, the potential client to look at you and say, I see what you do, I see who you are, and I want what you do. That's a powerful shift in the types of weddings and work that we start getting. If what you're getting is not what you want, and you think, if I push through, it's going to be it. No. Stop it. Change. The best way to break the mold is by simply being you. If you want people to hire you, be unique, be different. And by being unique, it's simply by being you, because there's only one of you. This means engaging with your clients in a way that showcases your personality. Because what I have learned the hard way is that being somebody who you think other people want you to be will always leave you dissatisfied with your work. So let me encourage you that if you might not be the person who shines in the center of the room, on your photo shoot, you must shine, and you will shine. Because as a byproduct of your shininess, people reflect that as a result. I don't think that we as humans know how great we can be until we're pressed. If you would have told me 2 days, but the day before we left my casino, that was how the day was going to end, I feel like I'm getting credit when I shouldn't. It was the team from Creative Live, it was my husband, and it was Kenny. Everybody was behind me, pushing me. And I feel like it's a really emotional thing to talk about a little bit, because I was like, I wasn't enough in that moment, they made me that way. So it was really important for me to get back in mind that for me, it wasn't the wedding. And for me, it wasn't about my business. It was about two things, Smith and Taylor, and the greater good of the photographic industry. I believe in it. So the big picture was, give until you can't give anymore. And I felt like when we left at the end of the day, I gave it all. And sure, some people might not think it's enough, but it was all I had. Those who think about doing, they insist they can do it better. They would have done it differently. They would have used off-camera flash. They would have left room for cropping. They might have photoshopped the sky back in. Could've, would've, should've, but they didn't. Right? Because those who do, well, they make mistakes. They trip, they overexpose, they underexpose, schools, they fall flat on their faces, they clip highlights, they pop out toes, they blow up the sky, but they embrace their missteps and they know that it's making them better. To fail publicly and grow is far better than staying in a point of stagnation doing nothing. So basically, those people who do get better. I am enough. I have made mistakes. I am moving forward. And on those days I have really bad days where I really feel pretty crappy, it's nice to say, I might not be where I want to be, but I'm sure as happy that I'm not where I used to be. And that tiny little shift in perspective can change the whole day. And so I have to remind myself, as silly as it sounds, that when I go to a shoot, I'm enough. These people hired me. I am enough. That on my worst day, I can produce something better than anybody else because they picked me. Does this sound like some cycle of analytical babble? I don't know, but it works for me. I would rather speak to myself with kindness and grace instead of saying, you suck. This is going to fail. You are not good enough. Imagine what people are going to say when you post these online. I have two options. I listen to that voice or I listen to this one. I'm healthier. I'm in a better place now to say I am enough. I deal with myself with love and grace and contentment. And I hope the same for you.
Okay, so I'm super cheesy and I'm easily motivated, but oh my gosh, can I be her when I grow up? Like, she's amazing. And I feel like after you have a bad month, you have to forgive yourself and you have to move forward and you have to give yourself some grace because you're probably going to have a bad month and you know, life happens. And so I gave myself some grace and I said, you know what, whatever, let's go, move forward. No looking back. So being unique in your business is like so important. I'm one of those, I'm only Facebook, I've never done an in-home party, anything like that. So being personal on Facebook is hard. So some ways that I revamped my Facebook party was I started adding more videos of myself, photos of my family and my team and my hostess. You have to let your personality shine because people are going to want to book a party with you because of you. And booking a party is how you're going to get your momentum back in your business. So these are, okay. So these are just some Facebook posts that I've incorporated into my business. I have, you know, it's weird to put your face on a post, but it's effective. Because your little profile picture is so tiny, and unless somebody clicks on it, they're not going to know who you really are, what you really look like. One of the things I started doing is whenever we check in for bingo, I'm like, hey, who's here? I have them post a selfie in the comments. And that has started so many conversations, and I've been able to connect with people and build relationships just by like, oh, you have a Dallas Cowboys shirt on. You know, I love them. Any kind of connection you can make is valuable. And then, of course, I have like pictures of my daughter, and I have videos, and pictures of my team. And so, once you're rebuilding your business or rebooting your business, you've got to get creative. You can't keep doing the same things you were doing before, right? So you have to get creative with your income-generating tasks, find new customers. Did you know if you go to your workstation and you go under My Teams and you go to customers, you're going to see everybody who registered for your website. And there's a ton of people that registered that don't buy anything. So I reached out to them and I said, hey, what's holding you back? Do you need another sample? You know, a lot of the times it's application error. So I try to take care of that, and that's how I got some more customers. Booking parties. Booking parties is like the bread and butter of your business, right? It's the golden rule to any January ailment is book another party. That's where you're going to find your customers. That's where you're going to find your hostess. That's where you're going to find your potential new team members. So what I started doing was if somebody won something and they messaged me their information, their address, so I could send them a prize, I'd say, hey, I'm doing this little thing right now. If you book a party with me, I'll upgrade your prize. People love upgraded prizes, and they're like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Bingo is a must-have. Like I said, I'm just Facebook. And so bingo is a great way for you to interact with all your people in your party. It's a great way to showcase your nails on hands with all the numbers. And then I also started doing Jamboree trivia, and I started doing trivia about the hostess and about things that I had posted earlier. And at the end of every Facebook party, I offer a prize for anybody who books, and I also invite everybody to our team sneak peek. Now, of course, not everybody books a party, and not everybody wants to come to our sneak peek, but that's one more opportunity that I've put that in front of them and planted that seed with them. So since I've started doing that, we've got a lot more people in our sneak peeks. And with my team, I'm trying to be more personal. You know, I want them to see, like, yes, I'm here for you, I'm really doing this. I'm not, like, just standing back on the sidelines, like I'm working with you. One little thing that I started doing with my team is, on your messenger app on your phone for Facebook, they have like a record button. And I'll just shoot them a little personal message. I know my upline did that. Emily Petty sent me a message, and that would make such a difference for me. I was just like, oh my gosh, she took the time to personally reach out to me. I got to hear her voice. It just is a different experience. And it's so hard to be personal on Facebook, and that's just another way that you can do it. So our last green value that I want to talk about is be a blessing. There is so much negativity and so much on Facebook. Like, I want to be the sunshine on people's newsfeed. Like, it's so sad, and if people are negative and like super political on my newsfeed, I hide them. So just think about that when you're posting things, because you might post something negative, and then 2 weeks later you're asking that person to host a party, and they're like, yeah, no, you're not fun on Facebook. I'm not going to host a party with you. And another thing I had to do was I had to change the way I was thinking about recruiting. Like, for some reason, we feel bad about recruiting, and we don't want to ask people, we feel like they're doing us a favor. But let me tell you, if Maggie had not asked me to join Jamboree, my life would not be forever changed. The financial future of my family has changed because she asked me a question. And so we got to change the way we think about that, or at least I had to. And for me, recruiting was all about, building relationships, planting seeds, and timing. Timing's not always going to be right for your recruit or your potential new team member. So, I had to realize that. Okay, almost done. The emotional cycle of sales, Holly Ennis posted this in Power Jams, and I was like, oh my gosh, thank God I'm not the only crazy person out there. Because I was going through this super excitement, okay, yeah, let's reconnect. And then I'd get frustrated because then I'd have a zero party. And then I'd be like, okay, I'd go into doubt, and I'd be like, can I do this? Should I be doing this? Am I good enough? And then you get into the creative avoidance when you're not doing income generating things, you're doing other things with your time, and you're not sticking to your power hour or whatever schedule you have. And then, you get to your recommitment. So if you feel like you're on that roller coaster of emotions, you're not alone. We all have that. So I'll leave you with this. Once you get your business going, you've got to be moving forward. Even if you can't run, just crawl. Do something every day, every week to move your business forward. You have to be consistent, create good habits, follow up, and always, always, always be booking that